back to the podcast, and you're listening to the Traveling Pants of a Single Mom. And today I got my homie Bree.
Hi.
Hey, Bree, and then my cousin Jasmine.
Hi.
Jazzy Fizzle, Jazzy Affair. Jasmine is the second time appearance. She came on once before talking about her business, and Bree is the first time appearance. So tonight we're gonna be talking about being a single mom. So Bree and I are both single moms. We both have two children, two girls. And so originally it was just gonna be Bree and I talking, about being a single mom and the struggles that we face. But my cousin here, she's actually a mom in a 2-parent home. So she has mom and dad. And where I wanted to incorporate her to talk about her struggles too. Like, we look at being a single mom and we feel like everything on us, we doing everything, and I wanted to see what her struggles is as in a 2-parent home, what she has to go through to see whether it's as easy, if they have their struggles, if we have a misconception like it's 2 of them, so y'all good, whatever the case may be. So Bree, I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell the people a little bit about yourself and what do you do.
So my name is Brianna, and I actually met Tasha. She's an old co-worker of mine, and I am 28. I have 2 girls. One is 9 and the other is 5. I just work, I go to school, and I try to take care of them the best that I can.
Nice. And Jasmine, you can tell a little bit about yourself again, even though it's your second time on the show.
So I'm Jasmine, and I have 2 children. My son is 8 and my daughter is 3, and my husband and I have been together for 13 years, married for 3.
So go ahead, continue.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
For now.
Alright, so we did have one who said single moms ? What about the single dads ? Well, I did have an episode back when I first started with the single dad coming in talking about his struggles. I felt like it was fitting to finally have an episode with a single mom because it's called The Traveling Pants of a Single Mom, and I've never had a single mom episode. So I just felt like it was fitting. But if you want to come on and talk about being a single dad, I'll be more than happy to have another episode to hear another single dad's perspective. So hit me up in my inbox if you're interested. Always looking for people to come on. So today it's not going to be like an interview. It's going to be more of a conversation. Just us kind of getting into what we got to go through, the struggles that we face, and the daily misconceptions of, I know a lot of women that don't care. Like, I just want a baby. Baby father, not somebody that they know is going to be there, but they just want that child. And I tell people that I know that kind of it's not easy unless you got it like that. And you got the help like that. You have your parents, you have family members that's gonna be in to kind of help out. It's not an easy task. Right. It's very hard. Yeah. What are some of the things that you just that makes you feel like I want to give up, but you can't because now this is like a full-time job. You can't never let go.
It's just knowing that having to take on everything, like their schoolwork, your life, their lives, just making sure that everybody's in line. Mm-hmm. It can definitely be overwhelming, but I think when you understand and you take things day by day, I think it makes it easier. But even like you said, she probably has struggles even with it being 2 people in the home. I feel like we do have a misconception that it is easier
right,
because there's 2 people. But I do believe that if there were somebody else, it could probably be a little less stressful. But as far as getting into school on time, cooking, doing homework, things like that, it's rewarding, but then in return it's like I'm doing 2 people's job. Right. So it can definitely take from you, but I think than just watching them, appreciate you, your kids, especially when you raise them properly.
Right.
They respect, they have manners, so you get to see what you're putting in.
Yeah.
So it's not so much that is beating you down because it is, but
essentially,
right. But you get to see what you're putting your time into. So I mean,
it's just a work in progress.
Right, exactly.
It's like, for me, one thing that I find myself struggling with is I feel like I gotta be in so many places at one time. Like, for example, this week, I was out of work, in transition to start my new job. I have mad things I'm trying to do during the day. Then Talene hit me up. Oh my, I left my dance stuff at home. Could you pick me up? Meanwhile, I'm leaving the dentist to go to Orlando to look about some business. And I'm like, yo, Talene, you gotta be more responsible. And it's like, Mom, please, can you just pick me up if we have a dance thing? And you feel bad, like, cause now they post the dance. She done left the stuff at home. And I'm like, yo, Talene, every time I come to the rescue.
Yeah.
But this time I was like, no, you're not. I'm not coming. I got something to do. No, for real. I was heated. I think I lost my voice and everything. Cause we're screaming. I was like,
people don't realize how much, like, even though we're doing something, we're always thinking about the next thing because we know that we can't get a break. We know that, okay, so Talene has to be here, but tomorrow where does Talene have to be? So now I gotta be here and Sky may have to be here. So now I have to see if I can break up my time and make sure that I get Sky here and make sure I get Talene here. So I don't think people realize when they ask a single mother, how are you doing it? And we just say we're tired. Well, why are you tired? Because we have to think all the time. It's constant.
It's always.
Where's the problem solver? We don't have anybody to go to and say, hey, can you do this? And some people may, but that's another thing. Depending on people, when you depend on people, you're allowing them to take control. And sometimes when you let go of your control, things don't go as they need to be.
Right. Absolutely. So things happen that's out of your control.
It's just.
Well, Jasmine, let's hear your perspective. So you have mommy and you have daddy. Mm-hmm. You also have two children. She has a daughter and a son. So what's your perspective?
I think that having a 2-parent household, it does provide convenience. But I think for me, the struggles that I face kind of come from, one, my personality, but also trying to figure out his work schedule against my work schedule and who can do what. Like balancing out, okay, well, does it end up being me most of the time, or does it end up being him most of the time, and not coming to a point where it's like one person is feeling more overwhelmed than the other, or one person is doing more in the parent role than the other person. And then for me, like, his schedule is usually like hella crazy, because he's on call a lot of times. So like, for example, this week it's me 100%. So sometimes I get like,
wait, time out. Who picked up both the kids today?
I did.
You picked up both of them?
I had to pick up both.
Okay.
So I
picked up one. I was gonna go.
So, when he's on call, I have to, usually I drop off, so I get them ready for school in the morning. I make sure they have breakfast, get their clothes together, make sure, all that stuff is done. I get them out the door. And then usually he picks up. But when he's on call, I gotta get them together for school. I gotta pick them up. I gotta come home, make sure homework is done, make sure dinner's done. Because sometimes he could be gone 24 hours, working. So, in those moments, I'm like by myself. And sometimes I'm like, I just need a glass of wine.
So
I just need a glass of wine. It is overwhelming because you're like, I just need a moment to myself.
Well,
as a parent, and then the other part of that too is trying to balance both jobs, both children, having husband and wife time.
Right. Well, the thing is, it's interesting. She gets to see both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
She gets both parents doing the duties, and then she gets one parent doing the duty. And just imagine being that one parent doing the duty all the time. girl, like people think that like, oh,
it's a lot.
And even just like outside of it, trying to balance your kids, like trying to know how to give one attention a lot more than the other. And how to give the attention because they both are loved differently.
Yes, that's a big thing. Yeah, that's a big thing.
I think a lot of times with parents and kids, you think, oh, well, I have a favorite, or I treat this one different than I treat the other one, but I don't think it's necessarily a favorite, or you love one more than you love the other, but I think the relationship that you have with each of your children, they came at different times, you know, so, you know, the relationship that you have with each child is going to be different, but the love you have for each child is still going to be the same. So based on that relationship, trying to balance out time spent so they both feel the same love, even though the relationship is going to be different.
I feel like for me, because my kids are so far apart in age, so for those who don't know, my oldest is 15 and then my baby is 4. So I think with them being so far apart in age, I don't have to struggle with that as much as people that have been closer in age, because even having Jada, which is her daughter, and my youngest Sky, right now, if you give one love, you got to give the other. And it doesn't matter who's giving them the love. Bree came in here randomly.
I was talking to Sky and she was like, I need help.
It don't matter. So at the end of the day, it's like with the kids being closer in age, I can see where that's a problem, because I swear if I give Sky a hug, I gotta give Jada a hug. Jada never used to get beads. I put Sky beads in Sky here. Now Jada got her beads. It's like
they want the same.
They want the same everything. So with Talia being 15 and Sky being 4, I have a little bit of a, you know, I have a different relationship, and I can leave it like that, because Taline is a teenager. We vibe about school stuff, what she going on, and then Sky just got her own things going on.
Well, I have So with that, do you struggle? Because I know sometimes when you have an older child like that, does it ever become a conflict where she feels like she's doing more, like taking on responsibilities, like having to babysit, do stuff like that? Because you know sometimes when you do, like, if Junior was a little bit older, he was a little bit older, I probably, but then you have to be like, oh damn, but he's still a kid.
He's still a kid.
Thing, you know.
Definitely. I mean, and me and Taline has had episodes where we talked about, you know, her role as an older sister, and with me being a single mom. Definitely, I would say that, you know, with me being a single mom, she does a lot more than she probably would have to do if it was like me, dad, you know, whatever the case may be. But yeah, definitely, because when I'm ready to do shit, I'm like, Taline,
you got me?
I'll be back in a few. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be back. But what I do try to do is, if she has something planned, I don't interfere with her. Like, I don't go live my life and stop her from living hers so I can go live mine. So the one thing I do, if we talk about our schedules, the one thing that Taline she's struggling, so, you know, she have friends and she do her thing, but it's not a situation where she's like, they have plans every weekend doing stuff. So when she does, you know, we do talk about our schedule. She'll say, Ma, you know, my friend has a birthday party at the end of the month, and then I know that if I'm planning anything, I'll plan around that day, because she already told me she has something. So she does do a lot more for Sky, but I don't feel like she does anything more than I did for my siblings, you know, when I was growing up. You know, I feel like when I was growing up, I did a lot for my siblings. And, you know, I don't feel like she's doing anything more than that, but I definitely leave her space and allow her to do what she want to do and not plan nothing around her.
I know you got a lot of siblings. Do you have siblings?
I have an older brother.
Okay.
That's it?
Well, I mean, I'm my dad, but...
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's a Rolling Stone.
You still get stupid, but yeah. So definitely, I do give her space, and y'all both have young children, so y'all can't say, well, Lily.
Yeah.
Well, you live with your mom, right? How is that? Does it help out?
I mean, It does and it doesn't. I don't really depend. Like I said, when you depend on other people, you know, things go wrong. You really can't blame anybody but yourself.
Right.
So I try not to, as far as depending on my mom, like, to babysit. It's not what people think. People think because, oh, you live at home with someone, oh, they're an in-house babysitter. No, that's not the case.
Right.
Because that's how you use up all your favors. That's not her responsibility. So if I do plan something, or if I would like to go out and do something, you know, I'll let her know, or I'll make other arrangements. But I mean, it is hard because, of course, that's my mother, so she's going to mother. So when she sees something that she may not agree with, or she may think that, you know, her idea is better, it kind of causes tension because you're not allowing me to mother.
Right.
Nobody came in and told you how to mother, so I feel like at some point you need to know, you know, boundaries. You know, your boundaries.
But you know what? Grandparents kill me.
Oh, they do. Grandparents.
They kill me. Like, me and my mom had this conversation this week. Like, she gonna tell me, oh, you know, love you, mom. She doesn't have Facebook, so she won't be listening, but, you know, she'll tell you all tech time. You know, what you making? Tech time with Talene, tech time. And I'll be like, Mom, listen.
You ain't take time.
When I was a teenager, you ain't take time with me. If I did something, you reprimand. Like, you know, you put your foot down.
I don't think they realize. I don't think they realize that. Like, this is. We learned it from you.
Right. But then she get mad. Like, oh, like this week, and I brought it up. Like, oh, since you like bring it up, I'm like, Mom, calm down. I'm just saying, you parented me, you know, like. And when my grandmother stepped in and was like, oh, take time, you didn't want to hear that, you know.
Right.
But I'm just bringing it up not to say that I'm mad, because I am who I am because of you. Like, you putting your foot down and making sure, like, okay, well, you were not going to do that, you know. It definitely makes your child a better person. Like you brought up today, just seeing the morals and stuff that you instill. It's like you see that and it's like, yes, I'm doing something, you know, I'm doing something right, you know. So what about you with your mom and dad?
I feel like my mom, I feel like she be letting them get away with slide with stuff. My dad, on the other hand, he's homie, don't play that.
Yeah. That day when you went to New York,
homie, don't play that.
When you went to New York and he was showing Jada how to play dominoes, you heard what? She just mixing up the dominoes, but he was serious about dominoes. You would have thought he was mad. No, you know, he was like, mix it. I was like, okay.
No, Jada. He's like, oh God, it's just dominoes. And then he was telling me to leave because he's like, when you wasn't down here, that's not what she was doing. I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll go.
Kids do have a habit of doing that. When you come around,
they want extra. Yeah.
You know all about that. Cause Jada is extra, but when Jasmine come around, she turned it on. No, she turned the extra on. She overload. Yeah. She turned it on overload when her mom comes.
She said my baby's spoiled, but I don't believe that.
Jada is spoiled. You've already acknowledged. Don't come on live. You never acknowledged the fact that Jada is spoiled.
Not spoiled.
Like, come on, son.
Do this for the people.
Right. Off camera that Jada is spoiled. So we're gonna keep that same energy. Jada's spoiled, but you know, I'm warming up to it because I can't do spoiled. But I'm getting better. Because as a single mom, and you could tell me this or not, you cannot spoil. There's no room for that.
Well, I reprimand her when she needs to be reprimanded.
It gotta be strenuous. Like, it gotta be something that she really went out her way. Like, when you painted your nails on Sunday and she came and smudged it on purpose, you reprimand, because it was like, you know, you was mad. But you reprimand her like that when it's something that's outlandish. Like, why would you come? Like, you know my nails is wet. You know what I'm saying? But when it's simple stuff, you give her slide. You give her pass. Just to let you know. But she can't say that because she knows it's true. But when you're dealing with a single parent household, you can't really spoil like that. At least I don't think so.
Sometimes I feel like I may try to overcompensate for the missing parent. Because for birthday parties for my kids, I'm very, very extravagant. I do go above and I go beyond.
Next time.
I will. They'll be invited, promise, and they'll have a ball.
No, she do her own. The planning.
Yeah, she does. The connecting. But I really do feel like I do it because I do know that because I came from a single mother home and I know how it feels. And I always said if I ever had kids, I didn't want to raise my kids and be a single mother. So I know I didn't pick to be a single mother. That's just how life, ended up. The path that, I got led down. And so whenever I do things for them, people always say, their birthday parties are so extravagant and extreme. And those are just things that I feel like when they look back, okay, yeah, I didn't have my dad, or he may have been kind of scarce in my life, but this is what my mom exposed me to. These are the memories and the experiences that she did for me, so that they don't so much dwell on the fact that
he's not
there. They weren't there, So, and even trying to be a dad is like, I'm not a dad. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like kids do need that balance so bad because I can tell you as a mother, I can teach you how to be a lady, you feel me? But I can't teach you, what men can teach you. And I do think that they do. That even though people say, they don't need their dad, that's not true.
They do.
Especially little girls. I think men, as a little girl, you look to your father as the first person that you fall in love with. And if a daughter doesn't have that, it's like, okay, that leads her into another space liable to love the wrong type of people. Because they didn't have that foundation as children growing up to know, okay, so this is what's okay and this is what's not okay. And I can only do my best as a woman, what I would accept and what I would allow, and teach them, you don't allow certain things and this is how you do certain things, and so on and so forth. So I do feel like, and I believe that most single mothers do try to compensate for the missing parent.
And I think they don't really realize the missing parent until they get into that age in school where other people's dads are picking them up.
And they're going to dances.
And they're going to daddy dances. And it's like, yo, what's up? And you brought up a good point. Like with Sky, her dad is very present, and when she sees him, it's when somebody in love though, when she look at him, it's that look it's like that I love, like that I love.
He could do no wrong.
And then she'll go for the weekend and come back and want to act shady. And I'm not gonna front. But it hurts so bad.
That's the bond that her and her dad have. And when she come back, it's like, oh, mommy.
I'm not gonna front. It hurts so bad. Like the last 2 times that she went and spent the weekend with him, and she came home with this attitude like she don't want to talk to nobody, and
she a whole new person.
She a whole new person. And I'm like, hello, chick. I be want to say, not after everything I done did for you gonna come back here from your dad's house acting like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, she be really showing out, and it hurt. So like, I literally want to cry. Like when Taleen was younger and she used to go to her dad's house, she used to cry the whole time. She used to call me every day, Mommy, I want to come home.
So it's different.
It's different. With Sky, she's like, and even now she's like, Mom, when is my dad gonna pick me? Is he at the door? She's at the window. Like, no, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, calm down. But it hurts.
Yeah,
it hurts real. Like, it was it was big of me to admit it.
Yeah.
But it does hurt a lot when she is interacting with, well, not really interacting with him because I want her to have that interaction,
Right.
but it's just like that acting funny.
Yeah.
When she get back, and I just be like, yo,
That's not what we do.
no.
But that happens now for me. And you out here.
Well, what? Oh,
Jada be acting funny.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because Jada is definitely a mommy's girl.
She is, but like if I come home late and she already been here, been home with like Eli, like I'll come home and she'll approach me, but then like it's kind of like, oh,
We didn't need you, Mom. It's good.
you know.
I don't know. I gotta.
It just depends. She have her days.
Joyce says supermom. Yes, ma'am. We out here supermomming it. I don't know about you, Jasmine. You supermom.
I'm part-time. Every mom is supermom because like for me, I have a hard time letting go. Like releasing control. So I think sometimes that gets frustrating for him because I'll be like, I need to do everything.
Right.
And so like I'm learning to like let him
Step back.
and like do stuff, but it's really hard.
Yeah, I can definitely give you that. You are very hands-on.
Really hard. Like it's really hard. Like it's real hard to like
let go.
and sometimes to like just release that control. Like even with Junior, like I feel like sometimes I'm just like too like want to do everything. And so I think that's why now he's like, not, I guess like doing certain, like he will do certain things like if you ask him, but I think he's so used to like me doing everything. And the folk packing out the laundry, cleaning up the room, vacuuming, like doing every single thing that I haven't really given him that push. But then now Jada's coming up and she's seeing me do all these things. So she just like jumps in to do it.
Right.
So I think that's going to be the big difference between the two of them is that she wants to be independent, but I feel like I made Junior too dependent on me.
Yeah, because he
was first. So
I was just saying that about my oldest daughter. It's almost like, not to say that I have to like tell her what to do.
You got to be a little bit more push.
Yeah, like my youngest, I'll be like, can you go do this? Oh, she'll be done.
In no direction. Yes. And then you ask the older one, and then like
I don't know what's
either that or what you say. And then what you asked me to do, I
said the very same thing because she's the oldest, and it was my first time, I didn't know what I was doing, so it was like I did everything for her. Right. Oh, you're hungry? Let me go, make you this. Even as she got older, I was still doing things that she was able to do on her own, but I was still like, that's my baby, I'm supposed to do it. So now it's almost like, okay, go.
And sometimes he'll try to tell me, he'll be like, I could do it. And I'll be like, can you really? Because last time I saw you trying to do it and I don't know if you got it. Right. So I feel like I just need to come in and help you or do it. Be like, I got it. I can do it. I don't need, and I'm just like, okay. But then I still got to go back behind us. So then it's like,
I don't know. I didn't have, well, like I said, I can't really relate because Talene and Sky not really close in age, but I don't know. I feel like at a young age, I really pushed Talene to be independent because I was literally doing a lot, and it was like just me. And then you have these different work schedules and you don't know what, going from job to job, you don't know what schedule you're going to have. So I really feel like I pushed Talene real young to kind of like, you're going to have to learn how to do things on your own. But thankfully at a young age I started her with after school activities, and that kind of helped out where she was in dance, she was in gymnastics, and she was doing that stuff at a really young age. So that kind of helped out too with that balance and showing her like growth and I'm telling you, gymnastics and dance, she started off in dance and then she later went on to gymnastics. It had developed her so much as a person. Right. It showed her responsibility, things that I probably wouldn't have taught her if it was just left up to me. But the fact that she was doing all these things and she had to balance her schedule, she had to balance training, schoolwork, you know, keeping up with new things that she was learning when she started in her competition seasons. She had to learn, you know, being routines, bar, floor, vault. You know, she had so much on her plate. So she, on her own, will go in and kind of like make her own schedule and set her own goals, you know, where she was like, oh, in gym, all the girls made the kip. And I haven't made mine yet, so she would go in and she had like a chalkboard. She still have it, the chalkboard, and she would write on there and say, in a week, I want to have my kid. You know what I'm saying? So her being in activities, it really developed her a lot. Probably more than I would have done if I didn't get her involved, because she really had to step up. And then, of course, you have to maintain your grades. And even though some of these gyms are an outside entity, they still encourage them with their school. Like, you got to keep up on your schoolwork. You got to keep up on this. So, and most of the kids, they were A students. So, you know, they keeping up with their stuff. When Talene herself, you know, also maintained, you know, her grades and maintained being an A student as well. So the after school activities really, really helped out with molding her into being a responsible person. So I could give the credit to our gym families. She started off at Brown's Gym and she ended her career at Legacy Gym, and those places really molded her. And they're located in Altamont Springs, both gyms. So guys, you know, if you interested in doing any gymnastics, they're really good facilities. So does your daughter do anything?
No, they don't, just because with being a single parent and balancing the scheduling, I haven't really been able to invest that time. But with how things have been moving at work, my schedule has changed.
Yes,
so
it has.
now I've actually been looking into trying to get the oldest, because I'm not wasting my time with a child who doesn't have the focus, and I'm not doing that.
How old did you say your youngest?
5. Okay, my 5-year-old, she will say she wants to do something, and 2 seconds later she wants to do something else. So I've been looking into taking the oldest one to an open gym for gymnastics.
Oh yeah, she probably like it.
She loves to flip and tumble, and she already got that stuff down.
How old is she?
She's 9.
Yeah, get her started. I said you should have got. Like, I really wish I would have got Talene started at a younger age. Like, Jada seems to be very flexible. Like, I would say try to get her started. Yeah, I would say try to get her started. I don't know if she's gonna do what you want her to do, but whatever it is, direction, it's always good to get them started at a younger age. I think Talene started like around 7, 8, and although she developed the potential, if she would have started younger, she probably would have been further off in that career if she started. Because some of these girls that she was training with they start when they're young. So those kids were younger than her, and she was in it more advanced, but they were on the same. You could say more advanced because they were on the same level, but they were younger. So, you know, but then you run with something so like gymnastics, you run the risk of burnout, like you burn out real quick. But that's neither here nor there. I do believe that extracurricular activity is really good. I mean, it's expensive though.
But I feel like that also helps to keep them out of the streets and not doing other, because what's the alternative? You know what I mean? So I feel like you got to make a decision.
That's true.
You have to keep your kids not entertained, but you have to keep them focused on something, because if they're just out here, okay, I finished school, I don't have anything else to do now. Well, now what can I do?
Get in trouble.
Right. And that's not my daughters. I don't want my kids to be in trouble in the streets. I don't want to, phone calls from the school. That's not. I don't want that.
You don't want that.
It is.
She's tired. I was gonna ask. All right, so we have 2 girls. You have a girl and a boy. So some people say raising girls are easier, raising boys are harder, vice versa. Some people have their thing. Now, with you being, here more often, I hear the struggles that you have raising Junior versus Jada. So talk a little bit about raising a boy.
It's different. It's different, but you know, Jada's not at a stage yet where I feel like I can really compare them, you know, together at this point, because she's only 3. But Junior, I don't know. So he is super intelligent. Like he is super intelligent, top of his class, you know, but on the behavior side, it's almost like he picks and chooses what he wants to do. And so, you know, I think that one struggle that we have as a 2-parent household is how we discipline. Okay. So, and really having a common ground in regards to that, because you know Eli, my husband, he's not very vocal. So he is, so like yesterday he actually talked to Junior, but none of us would know that him and Junior had a conversation. Nobody would know that, you know, him and Junior talked. But, you know, I am, you know, the loud, vulgar parent. So even like going into his aftercare, I remember the first time that I had to pick him up, and it probably wasn't the first time, but I walked in, and at that point he, you know, had like a couple rough days. So I walked in and I was like, so what did you get at school today? And that was like the first thing that came out of my mouth, and I'm loud. Like I just walked in the aftercare like, so what did you get at school today? No care for friends, right. No care about the staff. I just want to know what you did at school today. And they were looking at me like, oh. And they were like, oh, so no, we need to call you. Call you. I said yes. Call me on my cell phone. Call me on my work phone. Put me on speed dial.
Right.
Do all those things, but I don't really know if there's like a struggle. I just feel like he's at a stage now where he's testing the waters. Yeah. And so I'm gonna tell y'all the story I'm gonna tell him about yesterday. Okay.
But before you tell him, do you think because I hear a lot of the things that y'all struggle with. Do you think he struggles with peer pressure? Do you think is anyone that's like egging him on, or do you think that most of is he trying to be popular? And
I think I don't know, I guess maybe wants to be like seen and heard, or he like once he's, especially when it comes to school, like once he's done with his work, he's trying to do something. And so the next thing is to just make jokes in the class, fall out of my chair so that, you know, the rest of the class is gonna laugh. And it's crazy because I want to say in 1st grade and 2nd grade, he, you know, they do like the end of the year award, and he got class clown for both years. And so I've been trying to tell him, like, I'm not sending you to school to be Junior the entertainer. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, your grades are good, but your behavior needs to match up with that. Because as you get older,
it follows you.
It's going to follow you.
Especially when you're a boy.
Yes.
Especially when you're a boy. Yes. So that's even worse with the things that we're having in this. You cannot be out there clowning.
And the thing that I tell my girls that I'm like, we already are at a deficit.
Yes.
Whatever you do, be a child, go to school, and just
shine.
That's it. You have one job. Go to school and do good.
You said that to eat Jack Jr. yesterday.
That's all they have.
That's it. It's so easy. Yeah. It's so, and they don't even realize how easy they have it. Right. And we know. Right. Every day we say to ourselves, if I could go back and be a kid,
I would go right back.
Please.
I would find that. You can send me right back in the middle of me getting my ass beat. What? I don't care. Just send me back. Right. I tell Tali every day, I can't relate as far as Tali. I've never gotten a call home from a teacher that Tali was disruptive or never. Like Tali has always been a good kid. So I definitely can't relate, but What happened?
I was making the joke.
Oh.
Like that first baby said.
Oh, yeah, I can't relate to, her showing out and stuff like that. But I definitely see your struggles. And, we work together, so we talk about the different struggles that you...
But I will say, something that I hear often, and it really irks my nerves. Because I feel like it's almost like a pass. Oh, he's just being a boy. Boys are being boys. And I'm like, absolutely not. Like, absolutely not. I'm going to hold you to the same behavior standard. Because even today, we were in the car and I said to him, if you think that Jada's going to be able to, like, get away with these things, it's not going to happen. Right now, she's at a stage where, she don't really have nothing going on. There's nothing that, I need to, like... school-wise that I need to enforce. But please believe that when she gets to your age and she's continuing with the same behavior, she's gonna have the same exact consequences. But people saying, oh, he's just being a boy and things like that, like, it really gets on my nerves because it's almost like a pass for them to do whatever they want to do, and then you're not supposed to enforce rules on them because they're just at a stage where they're being boys. And that's when they get older and they do things that they're not supposed to do, and they feel like I can get a pass because I'm being a boy.
And now I feel like those things travel with them. They do. Like the behaviors, the things that they get in trouble for, it follows them. So definitely, I do hear that a lot. Like, he's being a boy, and sometimes I feel like that too. Like, he's just being a boy, but you're right. Like, at the end of the day,
he's a kid. He needs to know right from wrong. Right. And the thing is that he knows. But I feel like like I said, he's testing the water. So, like, for example, I got a phone call on Monday from the teacher, midday. I talked to him on the phone. I said, okay, we're going to go back. We're going to revisit. We're going to do what we need to do for the remainder of the day. And he chose not to do that. So, I picked him up. We talked about it. I said, you know what? I'm not going to spank you. I'm not going to put you on punishment. We're going to start throwing things away.
That's it.
We're gonna start throwing things away. So I set up the stuff out. They have these Beyblades. If you have boys, and they have these Beyblade things that they play with, and they're noisy as hell.
Annoying.
So throwing them away. But anyway, so I said to him, these are the ones I'm gonna throw away. So go to school today and behave, or they're gonna go in the garbage. And I'm gonna make you throw them in the trash. So apparently he thought I was joking. He tried to call my bluff. He thought it was a game, and she wouldn't do that. She's not. No, they're not gonna do that. No. And she spent her money. I know she's not gonna buy it. She's not gonna throw it in the garbage. I mean, he has everything else. He got a 3DS. He got a Nintendo Switch. And I told him, I said, you keep it up. Once we're done with the Beyblades, those are going to be up for sale. Okay? I already had somebody who wants to purchase.
Right.
All right? So I picked him up on Tuesday. Matter of fact, I messaged the teacher. She said, okay, he's doing a little bit better, but he's still falling out the chair, making smart remarks in the classroom, and wanting to, still entertain. I said, okay. So I got to the aftercare, picked him up, and I didn't even say nothing.
Because you already knew.
I already knew. So he looking at me like, so we get in the car, and I said, okay, so you decided to do the opposite of what we discussed. And when I dropped him, I said, please behave. He in the back of the car now, boo-hoo crying all the way here. All the way home, he boo-hoo crying. I get home, I let him shower. And we all escorted him to the garbage can to throw away his Beyblade. And
that he did not think was going to happen.
That he didn't think was going to happen. And in the midst of, he's crying, he's calling me mean, and I embarrassed him. And so I said to him, how do I feel? How do you think I feel when I have to be the parent that is getting a phone call because you're not doing what you're supposed to do in the class? So now we're even.
Yeah. Right.
And he realized that it was not a joke.
Right.
And he went to school today and behaved.
Right.
Because before he should have.
They see that it's not a game.
And this morning I put the new set that I was gonna throw in the garbage. I showed it to him. Look, I said, this is the new set for today.
Mess up. Mess up. He's selling it. Okay.
He went to school and did what he needed to do. So hopefully he continues
Right.
I think you have to find different techniques because after a while,
yes, the
that's going to be So each time you have to find a different technique. You have to realize what is it that he or she really likes.
Exactly.
What is it that so you might start off with the Beyblades. After a while, that's gonna get stale.
Right.
She gonna throw away the Beyblades. All right. So you really have to, like anything else, it has to be revolving.
Right.
You have to keep changing.
And stay your ground.
Yes.
And you know what though? That's hard for me.
Me too.
Okay.
Me too.
So I would say, I will tell I had a situation like that with my oldest daughter, where, and I've never had a problem out of her, no phone call, nothing. So when the phone call started coming, I was just like on the other end, so lost. She in the classroom won't listen to the teacher. She gonna tell the teacher what she's gonna do. Then the teacher, sit down, Isabel gonna trail the teacher around the classroom, still telling her what she's gonna do. So I'm like, Miss Billy Bad over here.
Yeah.
So because I know there are parents who they'll get the phone call and they'll be like, whatever, no, ma'am, I need to meet with you, okay? Because that's not normal for my daughter.
Right.
So I went in, sat down, met with her teacher, and I kind of got a better feel of her teacher. Her teacher was, not to be rude, but her teacher was soft.
Okay.
And I think that my daughter is in a space in her life where now she knows I can try people,
right,
and I can see how far I can try.
Right.
And her teacher's one of those people. She's a back rubber. She's not. I told you what to do.
Right. Yes.
So when I went in, we had the conference, and I suggested that they switch her teacher because I felt, like I said, she wasn't tough enough. No, we don't think that it's a good thing to switch them in the middle of the year because that'll throw them off and who knows if it'll work. Okay, so my daughter ended up getting Saturday school, okay? So that really, I'm going to work Monday through Friday, okay? I have to get up every day early in the morning. And who wants to get up on a Saturday and take you when you were doing something you weren't supposed to be doing anyway? So she went to Saturday school, okay? We had a conversation, not gonna do this again? Nope, not gonna do it again. Another Saturday school. Right. I was like, at that point, something had to give. So I spoke to the assistant principal. And I said, I understand that you guys didn't feel that it was, a good time, but I just think that you need to switch. I had met the lady from the second Saturday school, and they called me like a couple weeks after that, and they said, hey, we think it's a good idea for her to go ahead and switch. And I was like, okay, well, who's her teacher? And it just so happened to be the lady that I met where she had to go to the second Saturday school. And I said, I like her because I could tell that lady was a lady who
she didn't play. She didn't play.
First of all, her name is Dr.
Yes.
Shores, okay, not Miss anything. And she's older. And do you think that I've gotten a phone call since?
Right.
No, I haven't.
But you have to
investigation, right? Because I know that is not the type of kid that she is. She is not a troubled kid, and for her to just be continuously getting in trouble, ever gotten. I mean, even when I told her other teachers, they were just
like
floored. Like Isabel, like is she going through something? And it was almost to the point where we were gonna go and see if she needed therapy because we just didn't know what was the problem. And it was the teacher. She was, and first of all, the teacher was only 22. She was younger than me. So my daughter knows. She's like, hold on, you're younger than my mom. I know. I play you. Exactly. So I think just knowing your kids and knowing how they respond and react to things, you have to pay attention to your kids.
Right.
So just like now, okay, you want to act up?
Right.
I'm gonna throw your blades in the trash. Right. But just like you said, you have to know. At a certain point, he'll be like, okay, well, you just gonna throw them in the trash anyway. Okay, well, let me go ahead and get that PS.
Right. Okay. You gotta change it up.
You gotta switch it up because he's not necessarily being bad. It's just showing out. Right. And his teacher she older, and she like on Monday she put him out of class, and he told her, I'm not going.
Yeah,
so he was trying. I'm just like, you know,
but that's kids. They're going to try them.
Right, they'll let you. Right, absolutely. And so when you were saying that you had struggles with keeping like the boundaries or the rule, not really the rules, but standing your ground. Like I said, Talene wasn't a kid where she showed out in school, but one thing that we had problems with is if you tell her to do something. Like, so school she was fine, but at home if I tell her to do something, it's a different story. And the thing is, she knew that I would say, Talene, do this when you get home, and she knew that I wasn't gonna wild out.
Right.
So I remember she was in gymnastics and it was Halloween. And every time she do something, I don't stand my ground. But the reason why I don't stand my ground is because I feel guilty because it's just me.
Right.
And I feel like, damn, like if I do her like that, or if I, whatever, it's like, I feel guilty. Like she already don't have her dad here. So I remember when it was Halloween, and one thing I would tell her, Talene, when you leave, turn off the lights. Turn off your light, whatever. Don't leave the lights on. I'm paying all the bills. Don't leave the lights on. It's all I ask you. She'll go to sleep, light on, everything. Okay, boom. So I think it was Halloween day, Halloween morning, came home, lights on. I said, okay. No, I think it was the day before Halloween. So the next day was Halloween. I had told her, you're not going trick-or-treating because I tell you the same thing over and over. You know what I'm saying? So we get to gym now, and the moms we there talking, the gym moms we there talking, and they like, oh, what y'all doing for Halloween? Nothing. She was like, what you mean? I said, we're gonna give candy. We're gonna sit outside. We're gonna pass out candy, but we're not going anywhere. She was like, but why? This is the mom talking to me now. I was like, because she's on punishment. She's like, Talene? Because Talene don't do nothing. Right. What did she do? Look, she left the lights on. She was like, what? She left the lights on.
You heard me.
Like, I keep telling her,
this is a rule.
Turn off the lights. Like, I'm paying the bills. And when this electric bill comes, you know what I'm saying? Right. It's high. So she looking like, that's kind of me. No, it's not. No, it's not. Like, at the end of the day, it's not even about it's about the lights, but it's not about the lights. It's the principle. All you gotta do is flick. Turn the light off. What's the big deal? You know what I'm saying? But I keep allowing it to pass and allowing it to pass and till when she stood out there, she passing out the Halloween candy. But you know one thing I hate about Talene? She be acting, this will burn me. She act like it don't even bother her.
Oh, she was.
Yeah, like
she gets happy Halloween.
But she
from Tasha. Because I remember you. I mean, when you was getting in trouble, like she would never cry.
Yeah.
Like she never cried.
I'm still kind of like that.
And if that was me, I would be tight.
Word, y'all. Even when she wrong, she right. I don't know if that's a Libra thing because we're both Libras, but
listen,
even when she wrong,
I'm right.
She's right.
Yo, that used to kill me with Talene. So you want to act up? Give me your phone. Okay.
Here. Okay.
If you burn it, like, that don't faze you. She won't ask for the shit. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I have her day, she won't be like, Mom, so when I'm gonna get my phone back? Nothing.
Don't worry about it.
No cares. I'm like, oh, okay, so
it don't even faze you.
Girl, that's the only thing. It be burning.
Like, what else I can do then?
Okay, so you don't care? All right. I think it only really matters if it's something she really wanted to go do. Like if she wanted to go hang with her friends. That day when she wanted me to bring the dance clothes, she seemed very eager.
Oh yeah.
She was very eager for me to come. I didn't come, but
that's the thing. You gotta hit them where it really hurts. Like you have to hit them where it really hurts.
Right. Because that's the problem. When you hit them where it hurts, is when they feel it. But I agree, it is very hard to stand your ground.
It is so hard.
It's really hard because you just feel like, I gotta overcompensate. I didn't do this or I didn't do that. Or like even with the birthday parties, you feel like, dang, I gotta make sure I do this, make sure. And it's sad. But you know what kills me though? For not to male bash at all, but it's so sad that a lot of these guys, when these kids are successful and they make it, they graduate in college and then they want to show up.
But it's the truth, though.
It's the truth.
And it's like, hold up.
But where were you when I was,
right?
Because I'm sure, like, yes. Mm-hmm. But you know what? I think that after a while, because I feel like with Colleen, at one point it was like, you see your dad and it's like, yes, that's my dad. But I think after a while they start to see.
They do.
They start to realize.
And you know what? I try not to, because their accent. I try not to talk bad. I try not to, if I'm having a conversation and it might start getting heated, I try to remove myself out of the room so that my kids don't hear me having whatever conversation it is that we're holding. But even like, it's like when I don't know if Tylene, well now Tylene's old enough, so she probably don't really care if he's there or not, one way or another. You know what? She cares, but they numb it. They numb it. And I did the same thing.
Yeah.
That is because true. It's like I said, I know how it feels. So you just have to, like, seeing other people like, okay, your dad went to the dance with you, or over the weekend y'all went fishing, or y'all did this, or it's hurtful because that is something that as a little girl that you long for, that you want, because it's like you Superman, like you a superhero, at least you're supposed to be. So when I hear my kids, oh, can I call my dad, because they're in and out, they're there when they want to be, they're not consistent, and a lot of people say, oh well, at least. No, you know what? At least. It's not at least. It's never at least for my kids, because they deserve the world. Not a pinch of time here and a pinch of it's not. So for people to say, well, at least he called and talked to her for 5 minutes. Well, at least no. We could have did without the 5 minutes, because that puts them in a worse situation. Because people don't understand. I be telling people. I remember at one point, when Sky died, we were going through when everything was fresh, and we kind of like we couldn't agree. And one of my friends would be like, "Well, at least he," and I'd be like, "Listen, that makes it worse when they want to pop up when they want to pop up, or call when they want to call, or text when that makes it worse, because the kid then start to yearn for it. They get a taste of it, and
you have to be consistent.
Right, you have
to be consistent.
Straight up, if you're not gonna be consistent, don't do it at all.
And that's how I feel. And people say, but no, because you're taking from, no, he's taking from. I'm not ever going to take anything that my child will benefit from. That's not beneficial
at all.
Teaching your child that inconsistency is okay is what you're allowing.
Right.
So, okay, I want to come see you for Christmas, but when the New Year comes, I don't hear from you and I don't talk to you until damn near the 4th of July. No, that's not how it's supposed to work, and that's not okay.
And I hate when I see posts on Facebook where people like, oh, well, at least, he's trying, or at least, no, I'm not trying.
I'm doing. I have no option. Even if I had an option, my option would be to take care of my responsibility, because that is what I chose. I made the decision to lay down and create another human being. So I have to make the very same decision to take care of that responsibility that came from that.
And I think that comes from all aspects.
Right.
The dad, family,
especially
grandparents, things like that. Like, everything requires consistency. Like, for me, I think sometimes, like with Jada, I think I do overcompensate with her. And I think the reason why I overcompensate, sometimes me and Eli go back and forth, because he will put his foot down, and with even both of them, and I'll be like, well, just come on here. I'll give it to you, Right. So I think for me, I try to overcompensate because of my upbringing. So I think that sometimes it's not necessarily just being in a single parent household. You can overcompensate for things that you didn't have.
Right.
So like for me, now me and my mom are good. She's consistent. We have a good relationship. She has a good relationship with the kids. But growing up, that wasn't there. It was really just my dad.
Go ahead.
And you guys talked about. I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
You said something about waiting or like not having being a part of big moments, and there were things that I felt that she should have been a part of that were missed.
Right.
And even though things are good now, there's still that piece.
Yeah,
so when I did have Jada, I was like, I'm overcompensating, and I have to like second guess certain things because I want to have that like mother-daughter relationship, but I want to have it now until forever. Right. And so with my kids, I'm very, very overprotective. Mm-hmm. I don't allow for family, friendships that I've built, that friends that I consider my family now, like anybody at all. Mm-hmm. That is not going to be consistent and 100%. You're not existing.
Right.
And you won't get a phone call. You're not invited to anything. Like, they need people who are consistent. Absolutely. In every aspect. And if you have that support system, and that support system is not family, and they are consistent, that's all they need.
Yep. That's it. And that consistency is key. And like you said, for you it's a little bit different. It's more so with anybody in their life, but and I think it's the same. Like anybody in my life, but we're, as far as the dads, that's super major. Like that inconsistency, I just can't. And I don't want that. At least, I want that. I'm doing. I'm here
because they're worth more.
Exactly.
At least,
absolutely. And that's how I feel. Like. That's how I feel, and that's why I try to tell Talene, like, Talene, I have sacrificed so much for you. Like, I don't even know how I was paying gymnastics.
Especially with a legacy.
Girl.
I've looked at those prices.
Shout out to my kid. You had to call it out. You had to call it out.
But it's a beautiful gym.
No, it is.
But are so friendly, but not.
And so you can attest. I don't know how I pay. Up to this day, I can't tell the people how I paid for that. Like, it was a total struggle.
But when you see your kids really invest in themselves into something, then you invest in them,
right?
Because of course, had it not gone the direction it went with Talene and her
foot,
right, she probably would have been so far along in that that you would have been getting your money back.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So as parents, I feel like you should not necessarily, drain your bank account, but if you see your child really love something, make that sacrifice.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're supposed to do. They're your children.
Yeah, right. And at the end of the day, we can't let them suffer for the mistakes that we've made.
Right, exactly.
Like, everybody know that I started reading the Bible. I'm on my little journey of just, trying to figure out what's going on in the Bible world. And it was a story in the Bible, I think it was Abraham, where his wife couldn't conceive, and they took it upon themselves to get one of her, I guess they called it in the Bible, her slaves, to mate with her husband so that he could conceive. Because back in those days, multiplying was just a thing. We just want you to have them kids.
Right.
So, those days done. But when in the Bible, I guess, after she had the kid, the outside lady had the kid, and then something happened between God and Abraham, and they made a covenant. I guess, he circumcised the kids. Any boys get circumcised, that must be like a forever rule, like commitment, and with that commitment, he will allow his wife to conceive. So she had her first son, and it was like backlash between the two sons, and the mom. The wife was feeling some type of way. Long story short, they kicked they let the slave and the son go, and God came to Abraham and was like, yo, I want you to kill the first son. His name was Isaac. He's like, I want you to sacrifice your first son, go up to the mountain, kill him, whatever the case may be, your only son. But I know is another son out there. Like, I know what happened to Ishmael, I think that's his name. So I said, well, what's up with Ishmael? That's not his only son.
Right.
So I had put a Facebook post up because I was feeling some type of way. Like, why would he say, like, go sacrifice your only son, knowing that he has, his other son out there? So one of my cousins went in and she, responded and gave me a clarification. And she was like, at the end of the day, that's what happens. She said, firstly, God knew that Ishmael was out there. When Abraham went to go sacrifice Isaac, they stopped him. You know what I'm saying? They I guess he wanted to see if he would follow through, if he would, with what was asked of him. But she was saying at the end of the day, it was mainly about also looking at, these are the things you have to face as parents when you follow your will.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of God's will. Yeah. So with us, you know what I'm saying, we love our children and we will do anything for them. But at the end of the day, a lot of these struggles and the pain that we feel trying to raise them by ourselves is because we took it upon ourselves to do things in our order. You know what I'm saying? And when I read that, it was so deep to me, because I was like, dang, I'm struggling and I'm sacrificing and I'm hurting and I'm doing this just to make sure these kids are happy. But at the end of the day, I'm suffering my own pains of saying, instead of waiting and saying, okay, you're not saying that it's any easier.
Right.
If it's two parents home, because it could be situations like what Jasmine go through, but at the end of the day, the sacrifice is so much greater. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And we just take the matters in our own hands and have these children knowing that we ain't ready.
Yeah.
Or the relationship ain't ready. Or whatever the situation is. Sometimes things just happen.
Right.
But at the end of the day, that was such a valuable thing that I learned. Yeah. That sometimes you do have to just be patient and God's will, because when we take matters in our own hand, we're gonna suffer. Right. We're gonna suffer and experience things
that teaching us.
Right. Like, you
follow my way.
Right. Yeah. Like, you definitely should have just wait.
Right.
Wait.
And I tell that to when I come across a young, not even black girl, but any just young female in general, life is life, okay? Enjoy it. Yes. Because at 19, I didn't imagine that my free life, me being able to get up and go about and do things and experience life. At 19, I hadn't experienced life.
Right.
Okay, and at 19, I didn't get the opportunity to, because I was raising a child.
Right.
And whereas I'm looking at people that I went to school with, they're in, I was in college, but they were, away at school and traveling the world and doing this, that, and the third. And not to say that I missed out on things, but you miss out.
You miss out, yeah, you do.
You miss out on experiences,
yeah.
Especially in that time.
Yeah.
That is a very important time to just find you.
Yes.
Figure out who you are, what you want to do, and where you want to go. Because even then, when I was in school and I had, my first child, I was in school, but I was in school for other people.
Right.
Like, that's why I didn't finish. That's why I have not finished, but I am in school, guys.
Yeah, she's in school now. She's doing very well.
I'm doing a very good job.
Yes.
But I feel like I have more of an appreciation and an understanding for education.
Right.
So if I would never ever trade my kids for anything. No. But if I could rewind time and I could make other decisions,
I would have had it at a later time.
Absolutely.
Same children.
Right. Same children.
Just at a later time.
And I try to make sure that as I raise them, that I instill in them that school is important and that men will be there.
Yes.
They're not going anywhere.
No damn where.
Unfortunately, sometimes. They're not going anywhere. So So give yourself time. And my mom was one of those moms who she told you what to do, but she didn't tell you why not to do it. You know, like, so don't do this. She told me not to date until I was, I believe, 16. Of course, no reason behind it. Just don't date until you're 16. Right. Of course, I didn't listen, right? Because you're telling me something, but you're not giving me information on why. So now, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go find out why. Right. And instead of you telling me from your experience and your understanding, so that I can avoid making those same mistakes, you just tell me don't do it because you know the mistakes that are gonna come.
Right, and that's why I'm so open. And that's why I'm so open with her, because I want her to understand, even when I'm struggling, and I live with Talene, so I think she has seen me the most vulnerable ever. Absolutely. You know, and I tell her, like, Talene, you see what I'm going through right now? This is what I don't want for you.
I say that.
You don't deserve this. I'm not saying I deserve it, but I made my choice.
No single mother does.
You know, you lying it. But at the end of the day, I say, Talene, this is what I don't want you to experience. You know, this is even outside of that. You get your education. You see, I get up every day and I go to a job that I don't love.
Right.
I have to do it because we need to eat, but I don't love it. So go to school. Don't be like me. I could tell you my spirit back and forth.
Be like me.
Don't be like me.
Not to take anything from either one of us, but could we have made better choices?
I know I could have. You just want to be grown,
right? And you don't realize what comes with being grown. Being grown is not.
No, it really isn't. And I really wish they could understand.
Right. Yeah, true. I do. I really.
True.
They
don't get it. But it's deep.
But I want marriage for my children. I want children. I don't want no early grandkids, but I do want if that's what they desire, I do want them to go out and do that. But I want them to do it in the right time.
Yeah.
In the right way.
It's crazy because I started my job today, and another girl from my old job was there too. And you have to introduce yourself, and she was telling her story, and I didn't even know she had a 26-year-old, but she started talking about they wanted to know anything exciting that we experienced, and she said her son turned 26, and they got married in New York, and she was explaining how I just felt the passion. She was like, they got married and they did it the right way, and I'm just so happy for him. And he finished school and he got his wife, and he's happy, and and it was like, she was like, I couldn't ask for anything else for my son, and I just felt it. I felt it like she was so proud of the route he took. You know what I'm saying? And then she was like, they don't have any kids, but now she could say to them, go off, have your kids, and don't rush, but I'm here, and I want you to do that. So it's just like the experience of waiting is very important. Waiting to rush into being, a mom, a dad, because
even I had a friend in school. When we were in school, it was cool to lose your virginity, right? I had a friend who was 21 and still a virgin, and I told her, hold on to that. I said, do you not know how uncommon that is? I said, and for you to be able to say that in society now, hold on.
Yes, it is powerful. Even those people that's on the journey of celibacy. I know so many people now that's on that journey, and it's kind of like, I see how free they feel. Like I see them, how they just feel like, I've been down that road. I'm obviously a virgin, but now I'm waiting.
Because that tie is a strong tie. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. You allow somebody within you. Then,
that soul tie.
You get drawn to people, and sometimes it's not a good draw. Right? Sometimes the person is very negative, and you don't find that out until after the fact.
Right.
both my daughters. Anyways, I love my daughters, so they're beautiful. Their names are Isabel and Lily. Lily is my rambunctious, don't want to sit down, loud mouth, and Isabel is my sweetheart, quiet.
Being a parent is definitely
it's challenging.
It's challenging,
but it's rewarding. It's fun. You get to see you.
Right.
A little you.
And Jada is definitely just like her and everything.
It's crazy. You get to hear people say, "Ooh, when you was a baby, that's what you did." I like to hear stuff like that, or like, "Ooh, when you was young, you made that same little ugly face." So it's like Junior and damn smirk. He did that for me a lot.
Yeah, he's a damn
smirk.
Yeah, Junior be doing that smirk. That killed me. I wouldn't be able to do it. Like, as a parent, and you always got that smirk on your face, like, wipe that smirk off your face. Like, why you got that smirk? I just told you to do something. You want to sit there and smirk?
Right, I can't.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But I think, like,
Do you want kids?
One.
You do?
Just one. But I'm trying to get him on board with that.
Nah. I mean, I feel
What
like
if you got married?
I mean, I would consider it if I got married, but I feel like, I don't know, I'm getting old, so.
Girl.
I'm getting old. Like, but I would consider it if I got married, depending on how far down the line I got married to.
Yeah.
But yeah. You?
I want a boy. I do.
I do want a boy. I do.
I know that's not how
but
it
I feel like God has not blessed me with a boy because I don't think I can raise a boy on my own.
I'm glad God has not blessed me with a boy. And I always, when I was pregnant with Lily, I wanted her to be a boy. And then I thought about it. I don't want to raise a little boy by myself. I want a little dapper young man, and I want him to be able to look up to his dad. Mm-hmm. And like I said, you make poor decisions and you move on from them. Do I feel like the two people that are my children's fathers would have been good role models? No, I don't. Mm-hmm. But what is the difference of them being a girl and a boy and them being their parent? I feel like I have more of an influence. Yes, they do need their dad, but I feel like as a girl, I have more of an influence in a girl's life.
Right.
Whereas in comparison to, on the weekend, if it's me and my husband and all the kids and me and the girls want to go do something, you go take my son and you go, do something with him so that you guys have that time. I wouldn't have wanted that with the two people that I have kids with. So I appreciate
the fact that
the fact that I have to.
See, for me, I just don't think I can raise. I don't think I would be able to raise a boy on my own. Yeah, I just don't think hard. That. Yeah,
I'm sure.
And you raise them with a dad,
you don't have we're not like I said, we're not dads, so we can only teach a boy so much.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, now I need a man to teach you.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely thankful that I have.
I look up to y'all for real because on the times when I have to do things by myself, and I guess I kind of do things by myself because I can't.
Because you don't like let
go.
But that would be
it's good to have that significant other. Like if you going through something or whatever, it's like me and Eli, we go through everything together.
Right.
It's not me just by
It's not just me by myself.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm a very worrisome person.
Me too.
So a lot of times he's like, "Oh, it's gonna be good." He won't be stressed about it, and I'll be over here, taking the edges that I don't have still out, So that balance is, really good, and we try to make sure, like how you guys hold on to everything. Like even though we're in a 2-parent household, we still try to make sure that because we still go through stuff.
Right.
Everything is not
peaches and
cream. There's there's still finance questions. There are just there's communicate. There's all those different things that you have to still tackle, and then you have to make sure that when y'all are sweating, that the kids don't see you sweat.
Right.
So it's making sure that everything looks good
you too because like you said, it's hard for you to just let go. In a marriage, you have to. You have to be able to. Even as hard as it is, you have. And I don't think, even with the help and knowing that if I let go, there's going to be someone there to pick up what I'm letting go of. It's having that faith that he will pick it up and being okay with that.
Right.
So I commend you, because I don't think that I would be able to just. Oh, you say you got it? Okay, well, shoot.
You got it and good.
I'd be like,
got it good.
What? What? No, I don't think you got it.
Right.
Like, girl, you
I still check up though. I still check up, like, you know, because you got to like check in, because I feel like they need. It's almost like I feel like men in general need an accountability person.
They do.
Like, just somebody to be like, okay, make sure, you know, you don't forget that.
Right.
You know, because they think they have it, but they don't always have it. I feel like moms always have it. Like, you just have it, and I think
women are some powerful.
we powerful child
people.
And I think sometimes we have it so much that we forget about ourselves.
We do.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. And I feel like we beat ourselves up. We do. As individuals, as women, as moms, because we always feel like, oh, I could do that.
Right.
Or, oh, I wish I would have thought of that.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like, it's just,
we're
our own worst critics.
Yeah.
And it's funny, because my mom me and my mom were talking probably like a couple days ago, and she was like, as much as you beat yourself up, if you would actually step back and look at people that are your age and comparison, we're doing better than we think that we are.
Right.
And we have to, you know,
always
pat yourself on the back. Like I told you, for the small things. I told you that before you left. It may be the smallest step, but guess what? It's a step. It's a step.
Right.
And it was a step forward.
Right.
So you pat yourself on the back.
Absolutely.
No matter what it is.
Right.
And you really have to do that, because you'll go through the day like, you know what? I didn't get all the work that I needed to get done. I gotta go home, cook dinner.
Right.
I didn't get all the food that I needed to cook. Now I got it. But guess what? You got part of it.
Yeah.
Okay, you going home, and at least you going home to cook.
Right.
It's another mom going out there. Let's go to McDonald's because mommy don't feel like cooking. Mommy, we done been to McDonald's 5 days out the week.
Or they don't have it.
Right.
Exactly.
When are you gonna feel like cooking? Or when are you going to feel like doing this or that? So we really just have to pat ourselves.
Yeah, sometimes just, you know, like you were doing.
Because people ain't gonna pat us on the back.
Nope.
But as soon as we do something bad,
that's when
they gonna shine. They gonna get right. Okay, so.
Yep. Or even if you doing good, when they start seeing you do good, they
still
how she did that.
Right. Like, you don't know how things get done.
Right.
You don't know.
You don't
like,
know.
for example, I took Sky for her 4th birthday to Disney. People see you, they think, she out here balling. She balling. She went to Disney for the day. Little do they know, Talene spent her holiday, her Thanksgiving at Disney singing for their candlelight and earned those tickets. She did it on Christmas and Thanksgiving Day. And she said, Mom, we can use some of the tickets and take Sky to Disney for her birthday. You know what I'm saying? So little do people know, as they talking, because they see you trying to live, and then they see you, and they think you out
social
here.
Media.
Yeah, you're right.
Social media will have people out here like, they living their best life, or they got the perfect relationship, or they got this or that. You know, social media is nothing but a facade.
Right, that's it. Somebody told me, oh, you never said. Like, I'm sorry. Because you see me smiling in my pictures.
Right.
Why would I get on social media and crying, weeping, bringing the good vibe down, you know?
Exactly.
But don't ever get it twisted. Hard times come, okay? But I shine through those because my children are watching.
Right.
And if I don't, then what does that teach them?
Right.
When tough times come, you
crumble.
Right. No, that's not what happened. When tough times come, you push harder.
Absolutely.
And that's just what it is. So when you see Tasha going on a cruise. Don't worry yourself about how Tasha got on that cruise, okay? Because you don't know how much energy and time and effort and tears and sweat Tasha had to put into that to get on that cruise, to be able to enjoy her time. Right. So, like you said, it's a facade. It is. It really is, and it's unfortunate because people live by it.
Yeah.
They do. They see you do something, and they gotta go at you. Right. Or not even that. It's
even just relationship too.
But like you said, like they see you do something and they feel like, oh, they got it or she. No, like I'm not. Like you said, I'm not gonna go on social media and be like, oh, I don't got no food in my house. Oh my God, my lights off. Damn, like, God, I don't got no gas. I'm not going to go on social media and do that. You know what I'm saying? Best believe I have those moments.
Absolutely.
But I'm not going to come on social media and say, oh, my light's off. Oh, we ain't having a podcast this week because my light's off. You know what I'm saying?
Next week, maybe.
Next week, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Like, no.
You can't let nobody see you sweat, because at the end of the day, they waiting for that moment.
Right.
They waiting for that moment. Even like I was going into like relationship. Like people feel like I see people post a lot of times, oh well, you know, why they don't post you on this and why my husband, he don't even his last post on Instagram was probably like from 2016. Okay? Like he just doesn't do social media. That don't mean that he don't love me. You know what? We're not together. That's just not his thing.
But you know what? Relationships that are away from social media, I think, are the most healthiest.
I do too.
When people just keep social media, because people just have so much to say.
They do.
And they look at
parenting, when it comes to relationships, life. It's just like everybody has so much to say, and it's at the end of the day, it's damn if you do, damn if you don't. If you're happy, damn. Okay. If you're sad, damn. It's like whatever you do, it's damn. Like you can't be great either way. It's like let people live.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, like just let people live. Period.
Yeah.
Like we can't breathe. But I mean, I'm sure we can go for hours talking. Wait, what happened?
So you've been married for 3 years. And y'all been together 13. So do you feel like there's a difference in when you guys were just dating and then the transition? And do you enjoy being married?
I do enjoy being married. He get on my nerves, but I think that's normal.
But I think look of hate, like
she is mad. She ain't got nobody to get on her nerves.
Right. So we gonna fling it now, huh?
Oh, that's nice.
Right. Nice.
Can we get a zoom in?
I want to say like for me, Eli, like, and you've heard him say like we've been married.
Yeah.
I mean, we moved in together after a year of dating, so we were living together for like 10 years, and we had both our kids before we got married. You know, we did everything like in the wrong order. But I love the guy like down to his socks, like, you know, and we have our moments, but the one thing that, you know, for me and Eli, like we have never walked away from each other.
Yeah.
Like in every up, every middle, every down, it's always been us.
Right.
You know, like there's never been a moment where I can say he hasn't had my back.
Right.
And there's no moment that he can say I never had his back. Like we ride for each other. Like there's nothing. You know what I'm saying? We can have nothing and still have each other, and we have everything that we need. And so the relationship or the foundation that we built and that we're on, like once we got married, it was really just paperwork.
Yeah.
Making it official. We had everything already together. You know, so I enjoy it, you know, and I wouldn't change it, you know, for nothing. You know, he's a good dad, you know, he works hard every day, and he really does what he needs to do to make things work for us. But that one thing, like he just, you know, because sometimes especially when you're young, because I met Eli when I was 20. And there are times where, you know, we go back and forth, we get in arguments, and, you know, we both be like, oh, God, it. You know what I'm saying?
But y'all,
And we always
suck
stuck it out.
Wow.
Never had a breakup. Never nothing. We wrote it out.
Yeah.
We wrote it
I mean,
out.
and as her cousin, I could attest to that. I've never had a situation where, girl, me and Eli done broke up, and I come by, or you know what I'm saying, where you like, you want to act funny, so you come disappear for a day or two, so you know, like none of those stuff. Like they really have been real solid. Of course, like everybody, they have their issues, but I can definitely agree that. And I never thought about it like that until you brought it up, but that's true. Like they never had that situation where they like, are we breaking up or you know whatever, and that's real cool because now everybody
Relationships, baby, every other day.
Girl, every other
so how
day.
is so I don't know, call me so.
Right.
Well, geez, you were just together.
Right. And then 2 days later, y'all on Facebook.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's one thing, like, I'm the social media queen of the relationship, but nobody knows nothing that we have going on. Wrong, right, and different. Right. Nobody knows nothing. You know, we have our people that we confide in about certain things and get advice and things like that when we are having those moments, but nobody else needs to know that.
Right. And that's important. I think in a relationship it is important to kind of go through your problems together versus because when you bring other people in,
that'll help your kids too.
Yeah, when you bring other people in, they have all their opinions. Oh, you should leave them. Be sorry. Oh, you know, whatever. And that stuff really plays on you.
Yeah.
It really plays on you.
Even if people don't think it does.
It does.
That little
yeah. And then they'll have you second guessing things
and
that you shouldn't even need to second guess.
And then at the end,
question.
Right. Damn, I think that's what I was gonna say. I don't remember. I was gonna say something like. Or I forgot what it is, or like people will let you think about stuff that you're not even thinking about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
just
putting stuff in your head, and by the time you turn around, you're like, oh yeah, well, you know what I'm saying?
Now they did say that,
And
then meanwhile,
it's nothing. It was nothing.
Right.
It was nothing.
You made a anthill into a whole mountain, listening to whoever you was listening to.
Let me see. We don't really have any questions. Somebody said this. I guess this was to what Bree was saying. Not all people we meet to be teachers. We're meant to be teachers. Children will try the person. Pretty much everything is like, we look great. Shout out to Jessica. Thank you. Tammy Thomas is the one that made the comment about not everyone are meant to be teachers. Joy talking about why Jasmine there, she not a single mom. You so petty. Carrie, shout out to Carrie. Nothing in the world.
Carrie who?
My brother.
Hey,
She said nothing in this world is stronger than a black woman. And then we had Juan who made the comment about him being a single dad. So basically
So, this is gonna be my closing remark. But I think that don't judge a book by its cover. 2-parent household, 1-parent household. There's always still gonna be a struggle of I think the word that comes to my mind is balance. So yes, as a single mom, you have to bear the weight of everything on your shoulder. But also, just because you're in a 2-parent household doesn't mean that there isn't any weight that both of you might be carrying. And sometimes that weight is more for one than it is the other. But just because you see a 2-parent household, don't think that everything is glitter and gold.
Right.
And just because you see a single mom that's doing certain things or seeing things, it's not glitter and gold either. So
and we are not struggling either.
Yeah. Right. Every single parent is not struggling. Right. Every single parent is not, on HUD and Section 8. Every single parent,
I'm trying to get food stamps.
Right.
We can't get that.
So don't think that single mom equals a struggling parent.
Right.
And don't think that a 2-parent household doesn't mean 2 struggling parents.
Right.
Because sometimes in a 2-parent household, you can make wrong decisions when it comes to communicating, when it comes to how each of you are handling your finances. So think about all those things before you just jump to conclusions or jump to putting a perception over somebody in their situation.
Nice. Is there any closing? Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that was a close. You got a close.
I don't know if I can follow
Yeah.
That was really good.
It was.
But it's true. It's and I think that you having her, it did, it kind of, like you said,
Balance. Yeah.
to get them more of an understanding that just because there are two people in the home that things are
peachy.
right, and come to find out they're not.
Right.
Okay. And I believe that that's in every home.
Right.
Not just the three of us.
Right.
So, it was. I think this was good.
Yeah. So, guys, you already know I'm on SoundCloud, Podbean, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify. So this will be episode 56. My closing remark is just basically, guys, check me out. I'm always trying to keep tuning in. I'm always trying to come up with different ideas, different things to talk about. I want to thank Bree for coming in and being vulnerable, sharing your story, sharing your experiences. Jasmine, you as well. Because, it's not always easy to talk about what you face, but, I want the podcast to kind of be real. Real people coming on to talk about real issues, and things that we face on a day-to-day basis. Again, we single moms out here in these city streets, and we have our good days and we have our bad days, but we pushing through. And I want people to realize and recognize, however you feel about me, however you feel that I've done or didn't do, at the end of the day, my kids is what is come first. And when people meet my kids, they from the door see that they were raised right. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I'm doing this for my kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to build a foundation for them to have something, or even if it ain't something that they decide to do. If I leave tomorrow morning, what I would have left them is a legacy. They will have 56 episodes of their mom where they can go anywhere and they will always be able to hear my voice, to hear my opinions, to hear the things that I've instilled in them. It will always carry on with them. So for those who wonder what I do every day, why I'm doing this for them. Because at the end of the day, they can always go on YouTube and they will always say, oh, the traveling pants. Let me hear that first episode that I had with my mom because I miss her. You know what I'm saying? Because we got promised tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I have an aunt that just passed away this week. Rest in peace. I wasn't super close with her because she lived in Canada. But the moral of the story is that I didn't even know she was sick. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just happened. So we just got to hold our families, loved ones, kids close and stop hating on everybody's progress. There's room out here for everybody to shine. So that's my closing remark. Thanks for everybody that tune in and support me. I appreciate it. For those that don't support me, I appreciate it too. You know what I'm saying? But someday, somehow, something gonna pop.
Don't come back later.
Right.
You ain't watch now, don't watch later.
Right.
And don't post me no favors,
Right.
okay? And no, you can't come on and be again. Because I'm already going. Ow.
So super. So thanks for listening to the Traveling Pants of a Single Mom, and we out.